Hello, this is Stephen and Jennifer with Iowa Backyard Farmer. We're coming to you in January 2026.
You may have missed us for a while.
It has been a crazy several months, and so we wanted to talk a little bit about our 2025 year in review. The first part of the year for 2025 was pretty normal for us. Got through our plant sale, got everything planted, everything was going fine, and then life hit. And a big chunk of the summer of 2025, we put it in summary, basically called it the Garden of Neglect. We had health things that we were dealing with. We were very active in our community and our church and doing stuff. We had more health things that basically took us out of town for a couple of weeks at a time.
Yeah, not for us. We're fine, but family members meant we missed weeks at a time in the garden this summer.
Yeah, I remember taking some pictures out one day and realized it had been 6 weeks since I had walked down that portion of the garden, which is not how we normally garden. And so add on top of that, we had record-breaking rainfall. I think it was 14 inches that occurred over 2 weeks in July.
Right at the time when it's ideal to get disease
on
your tomatoes.
Diseases. So we had planned we planted the tomatoes to do dozens of tomato tasting trials. And at the end of the day, at least for the tomatoes, because of the diseases, what was planted as a tasting trial ended up being more of a late season leaf disease trial. And we actually gathered a lot of really good information, and we'll share bits and pieces of that today. But it certainly just wasn't the year that we were expecting. Many of you reached out to ask, how are things going? Are you going to be able to publish more videos? What's going on? Thank you for reaching out. That was really touching to see how many people either left comments or emailed us or reached out directly to see how things were going. So that was wonderful.
Like you, it was kind of a rough year. And we'll redo a lot of those trials and tastings this next summer. They're in the lineup already, and we've added some more things. Our plant sale list is just about out. You'll get to hear about that soon. We've made a lot of decisions based on what we have. We just didn't have a formal.
We didn't get anything published since last July. So it's been a while. So thank you for coming back and watching us. So as we look at our 2025 year in review, let's talk about some of the real standouts and some of the watch-outs based on what we were able to collect.
Yeah.
Tomatoes, again, was more of a leaf trial, and we still got some really good yield. We did take some B-roll that we may or may not use in here today. But in terms of the taste testing, that's more formally and set out.
So this was the test of if you've ever had a garden and you planted it and whatever you got was what you got. That was our trial. That was this year. There was not a lot of fertilizer. There was not a lot of extra watering. There were some adverse weather events, and a lot of us not being there to, clean up and do the things that we would normally do.
I was flipping back through pictures on my phone this morning, and as I was looking at that time period where we got 14 or so inches of rain over 2 weeks, and I did take a screenshot of a tornado warning where we were right dab in the middle of the cone as it was coming towards us, and apparently it didn't hit us because but the rain that came with it just added to that 14 inches.
So this year we lost 5 trees. We lost a plum tree, we lost a peach tree, and several different wind events. It was just rough, but there were some good things. Let's talk about them.
Yep. So let's talk about them. So let's start with our tomatoes this year, and we trialed a ton of tomatoes, tasted just individually a number of them, but a lot of it was just what could still produce after the year that we had.
Yeah.
And so as we look at our paste tomatoes, our Determinate paste tomatoes, we had a really nice trial going on for those, and overall they were all really productive, but some handle things better than others.
I would start with the Laroma 3 and 4. We did both of those. 3 and 4. 4 is a little bit newer. What did you think?
So Laroma 3 has been one of our real standouts over the years. My only concern that I've had with it historically is it's a floppy plant, and so you really have to provide some kind of support to it. Otherwise, it's just blah all over the place.
A lot of the paste tomatoes tend to have a wispier habit.
Laroma 4 did not.
More structure.
It had a lot more structure. Didn't have near the wispiness. Didn't flop all over the place. Production was very similar. The size of the tomatoes was very similar. The taste of the tomatoes was very similar. Laroma 4 had a little bit more leaf disease resistance.
Yeah, just a touch. So we went back and forth. Yeah, toss it out. Have a lot of seeds of one. If you've got a lot of seeds left over, Loroma 3 is great. If you were looking to upgrade just a little bit, Loroma 4, I think, is a step up.
Yep. So other ones that I think of in that bed, one of the ones I'd almost put it on both lists, and we didn't end up putting it on our sale list, is the cream sausage.
Oh, yeah.
Little Determinate yellow. That thing was crazy productive, and it produced throughout the season. But I swear that plant was dead from disease on like day 2.
But it kept going. So if you've grown that one and enjoyed that one, I like that one. I can't recommend it for my plant list just because if somebody got it and it died, I'd feel bad. Yeah. But it was worthwhile.
But it was very productive. So we will grow that one again.
Fun to use.
We tried several really new determinants, and stuff like Bellatrix produced really well, had really good leaf disease resistance. We did. My concern, and we want to trial it again, is for whatever reason, every single fruit had something that took a bite out of it.
So it may be the most delicious one out there.
That's probably the case.
So we'll do trials again, but I was like, dang it, that one's not good either. Something ate it.
Yeah.
We had a lot of insect damage too, I would say. Above average.
More on that one than anything else. So stuff like Cusco produced really, really well. We debated whether or not we bring that one in.
That one would be a fun one.
Yaqui was one that had amongst the best of the disease tolerance, was really good flavor, had these big blocky fruit, which was really cool. The Loromas are kind of a longer, skinnier type, whereas Yaqui was just a blocky one.
And it's kind of fun to use. What you liked about that one, I think, is that as we planted them early in the spring, it had a more rigid plant structure that was kind of easier to work with in a cage and use overall, because you're not like, oh, I went over there and went over there.
I remember the day we planted that, I remember thinking, or saying out loud, boy, if this thing produces,
that's your new favorite.
It's going to be a new favorite, because the structure of the plant was so solid.
Yeah, it was easy to work with.
And really easy to work with. A little bit bigger than some of the others, like, the Regal, Plum Regal's a smaller plant. Yaqui's a little bit bigger plant.
Yeah. And so there was a lot in there that we trialed, and they're like, yeah, they're fine. And we've grown them a lot. Shelby is one that produces a whole lot, but it could have used some fertilizer, right? I wouldn't recommend it without a couple things to help it, or, things like that.
And Shelby, for leaf diseases, if it had been pruned, probably would have been a rock star, but it does take a little bit extra attention.
If you just wanted to plant it and forget about it, these were our standouts.
Yeah. So if we move on to the Indeterminate, so the much bigger plants used for paste tomatoes, those were in a different part of our garden, actually 2 different parts, because we did have some out in containers. We had some underneath our raised beds that are covered. Couple things that really stood out. Zenzi, which is a dwarf Indeterminate, crazy productive no matter where we put it. So that's still one of my favorites.
That one has worked. We had tried it just in a cage last year. We tried it in a trellis string this year. It worked both ways.
It worked really well.
And I was worried because it was a compact determinate that maybe that would slow it down or something. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
So that one is a go-to. One of the really old heirlooms that we tried this year that I was really impressed with, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Yeah. So I call it Federle. That's probably wrong. Federal, something like that. Federle. We'll put a little thing up there. That one, I was hesitant to try it first because it says the days to maturity are a little longer than what I would normally like. But the productivity in both locations, out in a container and underneath the greenhouse, was really, really impressive. And the quality of the fruit were good. The
quality of the fruit was good. You had to wait for it.
We had to wait a little longer. Not as much longer as I had thought it was going to be. But I was really impressed with that one. And so in my mind, that goes right up there with the Amish paste and the San Marzano as far as being a really good heirloom that produces.
And we're going to retrial some of those because some of them, had a small disadvantage, but that was the standout in that category.
Yeah. Some of our other ones that have always been really good at the end of the season was really impressed with Gladiator. And that's one that we've grown for a lot of years. We've had it on our sale list for a lot of years, and we don't sell a ton. And
usually I don't get one at the end of the season is the thing, is because we don't grow a ton and then somebody wants it and then I don't end up having it. This year I got one and I and really it did well.
There's a reason why people request it every year, and that's a bigger, it's like 5 to 8 ounces, so it's a bigger type of paste tomato than a lot of the others. And really, for our garden of neglect, I will call it this year,
it was a solid choice.
That was a really solid choice.
Did not die.
So if we look at, maybe go to the other side of things and look at our cherry and our grape tomato trials. This one we didn't take quite as many notes.
Yeah, well, because we were gone for a lot of that, and if the cherry tomatoes, they come on in a big bunch, and then we didn't take care of them, and so then you had to sort through them, and then kids bring them in, and we don't know which one's which. But there were still standouts. There were still some standouts out there, and some watch outs. So one that we did decide to finally take off our list was black strawberry. I love that one. It is so pretty, and the pictures of it are so pretty. But in a high disease pressure summer, it did not do anything. Yeah. So flavor wise, the sweet aperitif still is really, really good. Yep. It is a tiny tomato, but it's very tasty. It's really tasty. It's very tasty. Your favorite one? What was your favorite one for the whole summer? It's a good question. For the little grape types, I've been a fan of raspberry drop the last couple of years, and that has kept the flavor really well. But you took pictures and pictures. So Amanda's favorite is Tropical Sunset. Yeah. And you like... So one that we had not historically had on our list that we trialed is... Sunset Torch. And that one... Wow, I'm gonna try to scroll and find it. We'll have to put a picture up. We'll put some pictures up. Every time he came in, he's like, "Can you believe this thing?" So Sunset Torch is kind of a little more oblong version of Tropical Sunset. Yeah, I think it had better flavor. Amanda will fight you on that one. Way more disease resistance. Crazy productive. And so, if I was to say, "Hey, you want any kind of a snacking tomato that's smaller?" That's the one I'm going to recommend. It was really, really a standout. Yeah, and it produced a lot. But we had a whole bunch of the cherry tomatoes that did really well. And we could not keep up with them. We could not keep up with them. They had buckets. And so look forward. Hopefully a better year. We'll get a formal taste test on that. But I was impressed with a lot of them. Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on to one that we were able to get a little more information, a little more data on, our Determinate, kind of the slicer beefsteak, basically ones that we could put in a container, raised garden, don't get more than maybe 4 or so feet tall. Those we had in a good spot. Took some B-roll, took a lot of pictures, did some 1 to 5 scale ranking on leaf disease issues. This was kind of your target project. This was your thing this summer. Yeah, and that was very eye-opening in terms of what can handle the diseases and stuff that we had this year. Well, and specifically because you had picked so many things that claimed to have disease resistance. So we had some mountain series in there. We had some brand new things like the Wondershare Red. We had some stuff that really claimed to be able to handle it. And I'm like, great year, let's do it. Yeah, so as I look at that, if we just think about the disease resistance component for what we had, which I think is mostly Septoria, we rated our stuff on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 meaning just the best of the best that we had, and 1 basically being dead. Yeah, you said you claimed it did something and it died. And we had several that were surprises that claim really good disease resistance that were a 1 or a 2, really did not meet our criteria going forward. Yeah. And so our list changed significantly for this next year because of that. But so as I look at what was the best of that, Wondershare Red was our 5 score. Yeah. So this one claims Septoria resistance, and it did. Mm-hmm. And the plant stayed really nice and green throughout, and the fruit stayed really nice throughout. I was like, hey, that's really good. I like that one. Yeah. So they claim they're aiming for a brandywine type of flavor. Nobody has been able to meet a brandywine type of flavor. Yeah. It was very good flavor. Very pleasant tomato flavor. And so no issues there, but disease resistance, that was an absolute standout. Yeah. So if you wanted to just plant something that's not going to get too tall over your cage, take over the world, and was going to handle not getting a whole lot of attention, I would probably recommend that one for you. Yeah, so that was really good. Other ones that were really good,
Early Doll, little 4 to 5 ounce ones.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Loaded. It was very productive.
And I don't remember that it claimed any kind of disease resistance.
But last year it did fine.
It was the first to produce. It was the last to produce, and that produced these 4 to 5 ounce tomatoes. Just beautiful red tomatoes all season long.
Yeah, they're smaller, but they were fun. They were really fun.
Yeah. Other ones that we did, so red snapper was probably our second best for disease tolerances.
Yep. And like Bella Rosa, they kind of go together. Red snapper probably has a little bit of an edge on that, doing just a little bit better, but they're...
Yeah, if you like Bella Rosa, I'd actually go with the red snapper. Just because it is a step up in disease resistance. But
we didn't do a formal taste test, so I can't tell you.
Yeah, but red snapper tasted fine.
Yeah, red snapper no issues there. Good.
What else was there on that one? So we look at my list really quick.
Well, we had done just your standard stuff like Celebrity, and I think that one in our informal taste test, Celebrity Plus, both of those were very nice, pleasant tasting determinants. So if that was a feature, they did not disease totally out, and they tasted really good. If you've grown those and loved those, you can still grow those and love those. Those are great.
Yeah. Beefy Red, I think, is way up there on the flavor side of things. It didn't have as much disease tolerance as I was hoping it would have, but it still produced through it.
Yeah, I think there's several in that category that if with a little time and attention, an application of fertilizer, maybe a little more regular watering, they would have been fine.
Yeah.
But it didn't quite make the top rank in the just plant it and don't do anything to it.
Yeah. Sadly, a lot of the stuff that we've grown for a lot of years that has worked in a more normal season really just fell apart. Galahad, which has been a really good disease tolerant one historically,
didn't make it last year.
Didn't make it through this one at all.
Year, yeah.
Some of the Goliath ones that we've had in the past, generally good producers, but
we had better ones. Lots better ones.
It was near the bottom of the page, and so a lot of changes going on there. But Red Snapper and Wonderstar Red were really the two standouts for a big red.
Yeah, if you
for
had
a small one, then
for a high pressure disease year that kind of threw everybody for a loop.
Yeah. So let's talk about indeterminates. Let's go to kind of the slicer, the big red ones. We didn't get near as much data as I look at our quality, and if I say, well, everything fits between here and here, we could tell you where the awful ones were. We could tell you where the really good ones were, and everything else was kind of in between as far as disease tolerances.
Yeah.
So maybe we talk about some of those.
My standard disclaimer in an adverse tomato year is that most of my big heirlooms do not do well. So we're talking to Brandywine, I'm talking to Goose Creek, I'm talking to all these, some of these things, but Mountain Rouge.
So Mountain Rouge
is not an heirloom, but that was one of our nice big red ones.
As we look at all the different ones that we've tried where Brandywine is one of the parents, Mountain Rouge was the real standout. I was going through in October, just taking a quick video saying, oh, here's what this one does, here's what this one does.
Yeah, then I stopped
and said, holy smokes, what is this one? And I was like, oh, it's Mountain Rouge. People don't like to buy it for some reason, but it's like the most productive big red that we grow.
I like it from the very beginning when we have it in the greenhouse because it's a sturdy thing and it grows well to the very end when clear in October, and we're like, it's still going. Yeah. That was a good one for a nice big red one. Damsel did better than I thought. If we were making bets at the beginning of the season, and I think you'd pick that one, and I was like, we'll see. That one did better than I thought.
It was very consistent in fruit size the entire season, and plant health was certainly above average.
Yeah. And Council Bluffs was one that somebody recommended in the comments, and I was like, I haven't heard of that one. That one was a rock star this year. It was still green when everything else was like, oh.
It had a lot of fruit, consistently sized fruit, around a pound for what we grew, which considering we didn't fertilize anything was pretty good.
We didn't pay any attention.
And it was not bulletproof, but it was by far the healthiest of our heirlooms, and across everything was still one of the more healthy plants even into October.
Yeah.
So that one we were really impressed with. Did just a quick taste test just between the two of us, and tastes really good. I mean, it tastes like a good heirloom tomato.
Yeah.
So on the last heirloom that I really want to call out is the Arkansas Traveler.
Mm-hmm. In a good year, I might not notice it as much, but in a bad year, I'm like, it's always there. If it's too hot, if we have a higher disease year, that's one that I can count on.
It is one of our most consistent varieties year in and year out. Just a beautiful, beautiful dark pink fruit, and I don't know, it's always just been a real like, standout for us.
Yeah, so that was good. Big Beef Plus.
Yeah, as we look at just our
the standard ones,
our standard red, Big Beef Plus was probably the best one out there.
Beef Master did really good.
Beef Master did really well. It's one that we don't sell a whole lot of, but it was really productive and held on really well through the end of the season. The original Blue Ribbon did just fine. The Big Daddy did just fine. Yep. And not that those were at the very, very top, but they were certainly above average compared to a lot of the others. Yeah. So certainly going to hold on to those. A lot of the other older, just general Big Reds were a little more in the middle of the pack. So yeah, we'll go with those that were standouts.
And we'll retry them.
Yeah.
So
as we look, were there any other red ones that stood out to you this year?
I don't know that I had any big standouts in the big red ones this year.
Yeah, so we'll try those again. As we look towards the yellow ones, we did a little trial of Determinate yellow ones because we've had people asking, well, can I get a big yellow tomato that I can put in a container? And what we've historically grown, the answer is no, not really. But we did trial a few Determinates and that were much smaller plants. And the real standout there was
Carolina Gold.
Carolina Gold
did really good.
It did get the diseases, but it kept producing through it. And at the end of the season, when the environment was right for further growth, it kept growing. Everything else in that trial died. And so Carolina Gold is our go-to for that one.
Yeah, if you wanted a Determinate one. And I liked sitting right next to it, unrelated, the Raspberry Liana, which was really, really productive. That one was really good. And I don't think we mentioned, my brain's going back now, Dester. Did you mention Dester? That one had done really well too, which is one of the big red ones.
Yeah, produced early and late really well. Didn't end up getting a taste trial of that one, so we're going to trial it again.
I mean, we ate them all, but the comparative weighing of attributes did not happen.
The only other yellow one that I wanted to call out is just at the very end of the season when I was walking through thinking, there's none of these that I want to do an additional video on. And then there pops up this great big tomato right in front of me, and it was a Virginia Sweets.
Yeah.
And so that one we've trialed before had been both productive and tasty, and it held its own this year versus the diseases compared to everything else.
Yeah, it did pull through. I think that's good.
I think that's good for tomatoes.
All the tomatoes we've covered.
So let's jump on to peppers.
Yep.
So if we think about sweet peppers, especially if we start with our snacking peppers, we did a huge trial for those last year. And go look at that video. Really breaks down a lot of things.
And the results stand.
The results stand.
They were really, that Delight series was really good. It pulled through, no problems, lots of yield.
And if there was anything that I would say was a little bit of a change, is that the candy cane series, both of those.
Yeah, we did a chocolate one this year.
We did a chocolate one along with the candy cane red. I'd say they were actually bigger fruits this year, and so I'm like, are they still considered a snacker? Yeah, but they're big nice snackers.
Yeah, I really like those.
And super productive, super tasty. We did a really big trial for bell peppers this year,
and we did actually get a lot of video and pictures of that one. So we'll probably break that down, not as a taste test trial because we didn't get there, but as just like a production and how big they were and how well they did overall.
Yeah. So
we'll try and figure that out because there's a lot to compare there, but the end result is they all grew.
Yeah, so the end result is they all grew. For the big green bells, things that were real standouts, and I was a little bit surprised by the first one, is that California Wonder produced really beautiful big bells earlier and bigger than anything else. So that was a surprise just because it's an heirloom that's really old.
Yeah, that goes way back. But it did really well, and we were still picking them late, so it did good.
Yeah, we were picking clear into October, had some huge harvests even into the October timeframe. New ones that we were impressed with, Hossinator Green.
Mm-hmm. If you wanted the big, thick wall, blocky, like I got at the grocery store one, Hoss Green was my favorite for that this year.
That one was really good. Another one that we were really impressed with is called New Ace, and it's a smaller one.
It is much smaller,
but the productivity of it was insane. So early everywhere else I was taking pictures of 2 or 3 at a time. That one I was taking 2 or 3 in my hand and about 15 sitting on the ground because I couldn't fit them all in my hand.
Yeah.
And even late, it was really productive, but much smaller. I mean, they're yay size, which is if you don't need a monster size.
The New Race is really good. It was really good. It doesn't hold the green quite as long as like the Hasenator green was, so it'll turn to red faster, but red's a delicious flavor too, so that's not a problem.
So really impressed by that. As we look at some of the other colors, Flavor Burst really was a standout.
Yeah, that was a standout. We're adding that one to our list. I liked that one a lot.
So kind of it's lime green when it's immature, and it turns to a really pretty gold. I'm like, is it orange? No. Is it yellow? No. It's kind of a gold color. Very productive. Flavor-wise, generally speaking, for bell peppers, you go, it's a bell pepper. They all sort of taste the same. Flavor Burst was a really good flavor.
It had standout flavor. And there was a lot of good ones in that trial. There's a lot that we have grown before. There's a lot we'll probably grow again. But that was the standout.
Yeah. And there were some others that I think could be a real standout if it wasn't our year of Garden of Neglect.
Yes. So, for example, one of our watch outs on that one would have been Sailfish, which we tried as a red one. And it was really productive earlier, good-sized fruit, and then it didn't hold it. But we're thinking, did we fertilize it? No. A little application of fertilizer, some water, and that one probably would have...
It very well could have won everything.
Could have won everything. And so, but in the event that you just planted it and was like, show up with something.
It was really good early on.
It was really good early on.
Later in the season.
Yeah.
So as we look beyond the bells and some of the other sweets, so Tennessee cheese was one that we were really excited about.
And I have liked it, but it grows. It's really compact, that little ruffled cheese flavor or shape. And it's really compact. And so if you didn't pick it right on time, it kind of would get moldy in there. And that was undesirable. I threw away a lot more of that pepper than I threw away of any other pepper. And even though I like the flavor of it and we've grown it before, we're trying a new one this year. Not that variety. We tried a lot of the... chilies, a lot of different chili peppers. For the pasilla pepper chili, I liked the Holy Moly variety. That one way outproduced any of the just regular, strains from somewhere else.
It outproduced, and it held the quality on the fruit a lot longer than the others. The others were, it's perfectly ripe today, and the next day you're like, oh, it's starting to rot.
Yeah, those are tricky. But the Holy Moly pasilla, I liked the Durango Guajillo. That one was a really good one. We did a whole bunch of testing on ancho peppers, the poblano ancho, and Baron, the one that we've grown forever, was still probably my favorite. Trident probably came in second.
I want to try that whole trial again. I think the Baron this year experience was by far the best the first half of the season. There's a whole bunch that I think would catch up by the end, so we're going to try that one again.
Yeah, again, fertilizer, water, little care, love.
Yeah,
from the garden.
A little bit of care goes a long ways for plants. Jalapenos. So we did another big jalapeno trial, not for taste testing so much as it was just growing. Things that were real standout there. Pantera is going to be our new lead, and the thing is just huge.
So if you wanted a big stuffing jalapeno, it wasn't too hot, but it is on the hotter side.
It's right on the middle. It is an average jalapeno heat. La Bamba 2 was another one that was really impressive. Not size wise. Not everybody wants a 5-inch one, but for flavor, and it's on average a little more mild than Pantera would be.
That's good flavor.
A lot of overlap in those heat levels, but flavor-wise, if you want a smaller one that has good flavor, kind of a medium size versus these great big ones, that La Bamba 2 is really impressive.
Yeah, so we're going to grow that one again. And we liked the Piquime and the milder ones, and we, all those that we're going to keep. The only one I think we're not going to keep is the Potapeño, which I had in baskets. And I thought, well, maybe I'm just watering it too much and it's not really helping the flavor. So we put it in a bigger bucket this year, and it grows fine and it turns red and it looks pretty, but the flavor is not outstanding.
Yeah.
And so we're going to do something else.
So we'll do something else. But there's a lot of jalapenos out there, and I think we've picked the best ones going forward.
Yeah. For this year.
We'll change them next year. Other things. So we did a trial amongst several different serranos, and Altiplano, the big one that we've been selling the last couple of years, was really, really good. Last year we brought in a much more mild one, the Cajans, and it's an open pollinated. It was at least as productive as the hybrid Altiplano,
but with way less
heat. So that was kind of fun. Was really cool to see.
If you like a mild pepper, so
yeah. So as we look at some other ones that we tried that were really impressive, Wildcat Cayenne was really interesting.
Yeah. So, and we'll show you the list on another video, but we have a page of cayenne peppers now.
Yeah.
And Wildcat is the no heat version.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. And we dried those and made that into powder. If you were like, you can get them in a range of heat. And that one would be a nice one to add in for color, because the color was really intense. And if you were trying to bring your cayenne level heat down, you could mix it with another variety and customize your heat level for your cayenne pepper powder.
Yeah, so that one was really impressive as well. We did do a banana pepper trial. Again, didn't get all of the tasting done of this. Historically, we've grown Hungarian hot wax on the hot end, and then goddess on the no heat end. This time we trialed several things in between, and really, really productive, not only early but late. And so the two that were, I would say the big standouts would be the
Hot Sunset.
Hot Sunset, which is a really mild one, because it's not a no heat, but it's mild. Really, really productive, beautiful fruits on that one. And then for a little bit hotter, Blazing.
Yeah,
also
Blazing Hot Banana.
Those
were really good. So
kind of scroll back through here. Other peppers that were a real standout, and we've sold this for a number of years, but Shishito Mellow Star. We tried three different.
We tried 3 different kinds of Shishitos. Mellow Star was the biggest. It held the green color the longest, and the flavor was really good. Somebody had asked about, do we dry those? And I have dried those and turned them into powder, and they taste really good.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Yep. So that one, and that section of our trial was really good. I think that's really it for peppers. Anything else that comes to mind that was a standout or a...
Just in the garden in general?
Yeah.
We had grown for the first year the trifecta cantaloupe melon, and we don't have enough space in our backyard to run a trial on any amount of melons any given year, but that we had such a hard year for so many things and got such a good harvest off of that one. I was impressed. Yeah. I was impred with that one.
Flavor is really delicious. I mentioned flavor is delicious for any kind of a cantaloupe or any kind of melon that you can literally just grow in your backyard. But for something that was disease resistant enough that we were able to get a really, really good harvest
without paying attention to
it, by ignoring it, that was really impressive.
Yeah, that was really impressive.
So if we look at, let's go to. Let's talk about a couple of squash real quick. And these didn't all come from our garden.
Yeah, because we had a hard year, but looking forward to this next year. Go ahead.
Yeah, so things that we ended up buying from a friend of mine, Mike, at Valley View Farms, Valley View Veggie up in southern Minnesota. Still have some because they store really well.
Right. So things that last that are coming to the list this next year. This is Autumn Frost.
Yep.
And it is a fabulous little eating squash. It's in the butternut family, the machata family, and we've had this one since October, and it's still here and doing fabulous. They're really great eating, and being in the machata family, I'm not going to have as much trouble with vine borers. So if you're looking for a good eating, keeping squash, that was my pick this year.
That's really impressive, and the flavor was really, really good.
Yeah, it was really good. It's not watery, it's sweet, it's good.
And the other one that we tried from Mike is this Celebration, which is an acorn squash. And we did do a side-by-side of just a green acorn that we bought from a grocery store and this one. And
this one wins.
This one wins hands down because, in my mind, it doesn't have near the squashy flavor. I don't know how you can describe the squashy flavor.
Right.
But
acorn squash is not my favorite flavor.
It's not.
But this one is my favorite flavor of acorn squash.
And it's pretty.
And it made a really nice stuffed squash.
And Mike says it's really, really productive.
And it's very productive. So if you wanted an acorn squash in your garden, that would be one to look up.
Yeah. So And other one that we tried from Mike and we've sold for a lot of years, and I think we've historically been picking them a little too early, is the delicata.
Oh, yeah.
And Mike did point out, he said, oh, if you want to get a really good delicata, and this is not a delicata, but he said, if you see in the ribs orange, you're going to have a better tasting plant than if you get one that's just green all throughout the ribs, which is what we've done historically. So
I might not have been picking mine at the right stage.
I would say would be a real standout as well.
Yes.
So let's go to cucumbers. We did a big trial of cucumbers.
And it was a good year for cucumbers. We got them in early and they had a lot of rain early and they were happy about that. So
yeah. So, but with that rain came a lot of diseases, and we've been really looking for better disease tolerance for downy mildew, which as I talked with my friend Mike, who we got these from, has said that he's really struggled with downy mildew. So as we started to look for more tolerant varieties down here for those, we found some that worked really, really well. And so it did take some little video clips, and there was a distinct difference between those that had good leaf disease tolerance, like downy mildew and powdery mildew, compared to the others.
So Gateway was our winner for slicing cucumber that performed really well, had really nice size, shaped, tasting fruit, and the leaves looked really clean and kept going. That was a real standout.
Yeah, I tried that one. Was in a plant right next to Sweet Success, which has been our top seller for a lot of years, and it's a really good tasting one, and they're both really good tasting. But
Gateway is a little more
disease resistant. You know, leaf to leaf, the Gateway was certainly a big improvement over that one. And Commonwealth was also really good.
Yep, I like Commonwealth.
It had, if I remember right, it had some more yellowing to the leaves, but as far as diseases,
and we didn't fertilize it,
was not an issue.
But it was really good.
The other really productive pickling type was Excelsior.
Yeah,
and
it's a really good one.
It has a really good disease package, but it was not resistant against the downy mildew. But as a whole, that one was crazy productive for a pickler.
Yeah.
So
that one did really well. As far as the snacking cucumbers,
that was really interesting.
Yeah, we have tried a lot, and we have some that we didn't even try because we have time. So like, we're going to try Party Time and all these other things later.
Yeah, we didn't get everything planned.
But of the ones that we tried,
so Piccolino, and none of them will claim great disease resistance. Piccolino probably claims the most, and it was the most disease resistant.
Quick Snack
was really, really good as well. The one on the downside, Greenlight, really surprised us. Super productive.
Very early.
Very, very early. And maybe part of when we were taking our video was that it was late enough that the plant was just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But at the time we took it, the leaf diseases on Greenlight were way, way worse than on Piccolino.
But we still got a ton of
fruit.
But we
still got a ton off. So if you're wanting to get really good early snackers, Greenlight's great. If you want it to survive late into the season, it's not the right one.
Yeah.
So what else?
But you could always replant, maybe.
Well, and a lot of people do. They'll do a second planting. We typically do a second planting as well.
Yeah.
So anything else that stood out to you on your list this year?
I think those are...
I do have one other one I want to call out.
Okay.
So moving on to fruits, we did trial a new strawberry this year. Actually, two new strawberries this year, one of which I'd say is a comparable to the other. So we tried San Andreas versus
Albion.
And Albion has been our big standout for hanging baskets for an all summer bearing, everbearing strawberry. San Andreas is a child, genetically speaking, of Albion. There's so many of these that I can't keep their names straight. So Albion is a mother line of San Andreas. And people claim that San Andreas produces more early and has more disease resistances and doesn't put as many runners out, which then for a hanging basket is actually a real winner, because you want stuff that comes really early to start out the season. And
I don't want to be trimming runners all the time.
And late in the season, we just had the baskets sitting on a table and they were staggered between the different varieties. And the San Andreas was by far the healthiest one at the end of the season, even sitting in a basket
without being overly cared for,
and no downside on flavor. So San Andreas won that one in my heart.
And so San Andreas is really good. And then we had a smaller one. We didn't put it in the baskets, but I had it in my green stock, the Mara de Bois. And flavor-wise, it's a smaller strawberry, but flavor-wise, I don't think you could beat it. That was fantastic.
That was an absolute rock star for flavor. Yeah. We brought it in last year to trial because of the flavor profile, and every description about that was absolutely correct. So big winner, Mara de Bois, however you say it, was really good. And I did just want to call out one raspberry that was a real standout. So we've grown a lot of different raspberries over the years, and one that we've had the last few years is Prelude, and the name suggesting it's going to be really early in the season, which is the case. Man, the flavor on that one is really, really good, and it comes, the harvest comes so early that you can basically beat out the spotted wing Drosophila, which is
it puts the little
Anyway, they cause issues. So if you really want to have healthy looking fruit when you harvest, try to beat that fly. Prelude is a real rock star. Prelude is a
really good one.
And I think the rest of the family thought they were not very productive because every time I went out, I cleaned out the plants and just ate them outside.
That's what happened too.
So that was a real. So as a whole, so those are really the standouts, the not so standouts of our 2025 Garden of Neglect. Really curious what worked in your garden, what didn't work in your garden. Please post those in the comments so that we can all learn from each other. And if you've got recommendations for stuff that you're thinking, man, you really ought to try this or that, put those in the comments as well. And we're still trying to catch up on our comments from this last year, and we will do that here shortly. But I appreciate you sticking around and watching with us. If you've liked what you've seen, please go ahead and like this and subscribe. It really does help. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.